how to develop and master our creative power. My name is Angelo. Thank you for being here. This message is for those introvert creators, those creative souls that wants to bring a positive message to the world. People that wants to create from the heart, to create a beautiful life. Stay here. I want to share with you my experience as an artist, as a creator, as a messenger. I know this will be very useful for you. A little about my story. I started to play piano since I was 4 years old. I learned by listening by myself. Eventually I got teachers and they helped me, but at the beginning it was just like a calling to come to the keyboard. In that time I have like a old organ Yamaha. It was really nice, very beautiful memories. My mom told me nobody pushed me. I was really like enjoying that. One of the first songs I learned was Love Story. It was very beautiful. I still remember even some books I have there, even if I don't know how to read them, but I remember the images and the feeling of the keyboard. And I was very little. Then as I was growing up, I was very attracted to different kinds of arts. I remember I saw my sister, she was learning to become an architect. And I saw some books when she has some sketches like trees and forests with pencil. And I was like, wow, this is so cool. And I tried to do similar things. And then I started to explore sculpting. I loved to play with clay when I was in kindergarten and primary school. I love it. So then I was using the clay to make my own toys, or sometimes I have toys, but I put the clay to make different toys. And I love that part. It has been very important for me also, sculpting. Then I grew up and then I started to see other of my friends. They were also amazing artists, musicians. They inspired me too. One of them I remember, he is an amazing drawer, painter, especially drawing. And one day he was drawing an angel, kind of like a cartoon, like manga style. And when I saw that, he awakened that on me. Before that period of time, and I'm talking about high school, I was already around 16, 17 years old. When I saw that, it was like, boom, something awakens inside. And then I started to sculpt angels. That was maybe the biggest thing in my sculpting area or my sculpting life that I have been experienced. I love to create angels, but not the cute angels that sometimes they want to sell us. These are powerful beings. This kind of horns actually represents the energy, and the wings are also energy. This doesn't mean they are really angels or big things, big humans with wings. They are symbols, metaphors, very powerful thing. And I truly believe they exist in different forms, souls, spirits, whatever you want to call it, guides, higher self. So we need to pay attention to that. And why I'm telling you this, because it has been a 45-year journey. I'm 45 this year. And I started very early. I'm very grateful for that. And I found my divine gifts about art, about music. I started to create music, of course, on the way, and I have been doing that for so many years. Some of us, we have already those talents. We already know that. So what we need to do is to nurture them. So I will explain here, or I will share, not actually explain, but I will share with you 5 points that can help you to develop, to master that creative power. They are not the typical recommendations of maybe other artists or things like that. I'm sharing from experience and passing through a lot of difficult things in my life. You already know some of them here in my channel. So let's start it. This is very, very important. And if you are introvert creator, just take a deep breath. Take what you can use. It will be very helpful for your journey. So point number 1, we are instruments. This is very important, and maybe this is the most important. I give you the first one. We are instruments. I was reading an amazing book called The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron. I leave the image here. Yeah, you can see that Maybe you can find the PDF version or you can buy it, it's even better. I totally recommend that. One of the most famous Latin artists, she was in a very difficult time in her career, super famous, super successful. And one in the interviews, she say, I read that book and it's kind of saved her career, saved her life. So Julia Cameron in The Artist's Way proposed that we are instruments of something higher than us. God, universe, life, whatever you believe. I believe in God. I call him the supreme love, the supreme father. It exists. It's not like actually I believe. I know because of some experiences here. I also share that in my channel. It's the first video of this channel. It was not belief anymore. I know it is. And I have been experienced that because I say I'm just the hands when I play the piano. I enter into a deeper meditation, or even you can call it trance, and then I can improvise and can create a lot of beautiful melodies, and they are not from the brain. They are maybe aligned with the heart, aligned with you, but also comes from a higher wisdom, the source, whatever you want to call it. But there is one for sure. And if you are here and you have been following me, you know that is true. You can feel it here. So we are instruments. And why I say that? Because sometimes the ego, the false self, or the idea of who are you, and mostly created by the belief of other people and the belief of the society, that interferes, that sometimes even block, yeah, that channel, that creativity, that inspiration that comes. So we are instruments. Sometimes the songs comes through us. The ideas for sculptures or the drawings or the paintings comes through us. And then they become real. But we as instruments also, we need to tune. Yeah? Like any instrument, like anything, we need to get ready. We need to be ready to channel or to receive that information. So I strongly recommend you The Artist's Way. This is a beautiful, beautiful book. It will transform your artistic and creative life. Guarantee. And if you first read that and then you come back, you can comment here below. Let me see and let me understand what is happening in your life. It's very important. This is a new channel. We want to grow it. Let me know if this is useful for you. Number 2, more clean we are, more powerful things we can create. More clean we are, more powerful things we can create. When I was little, I remember I was a little overweight. I was eating a lot of trash food, watching porn since I was very little actually. And I was living a life of fear. I was sick. I was full of love. My people, my family loved me, spoiled me a lot. But still, I was not in a healthy state. But that also helped me to go more deep in my music, in my piano, and the sculpting. I didn't like to go out too much. I loved to stay in my room just creating, playing with toys, and like I was saying, using clay to create new toys. So it was a very beautiful time, releasing through art, expressing through art. So at the beginning, when I was creating, for example, sculptures, they were monsters. They were like skulls and like suffering and things like that. Not that at the beginning, actually, I was a teenager already. I even make a sculpture of the devil. Actually, it was very cool, like breaking the chains and big, huge, was like this. I was very fortunate that my mom or my dad, they never sent me to the psychologist. They give me total freedom to create, and I'm very grateful for that. That was very important too. But that was my process. Yeah, I was in another state of life. It was the darkness of my life in some way. I grew up, I passed through kidnap, cancer, and a lot of things I also share here in my awakening process video. And then I start to understand or appreciate more life. I start to see the light, to understand the work of the Supreme Love, the Supreme Father, the Supreme Creator. I start to connect more with the light, the positive energy. and I decide to work for the light, yeah, for the positive energy, for whatever you want to call it. But I want to create more beautiful things. I stop creating monsters and things like that. I reduce a lot to watch crime, porn, uh, horror movies, all these kind of things. I literally sold my PlayStation. I think it was PlayStation 3 or 4. No, yeah, maybe PlayStation 3. That was the last one. And I start to learn. I start to get information from books, and it was an amazing process. It started already like 2015, 16. So I start to clean my mind and heart. I start to let go the animal food, no more red meats, and gradually no more white meats and seafood. Sometimes I still eat eggs, sometimes I still eat some tuna or something like that, but not too much. I'm doing my best just to let go. But at the beginning, the main reason was because I feel heavy. I was stressed with a lot of fear, anger, and I didn't believe in myself. So there was a lot of things until I was an adult, until I moved to China. But then I started to clean my mind, clean my heart, start to heal, start to let go a lot of things. And then the channel, the inspiration, I start to receive more positive ideas, more positive energy to create. It's a beautiful process. They talk about that also in the book, in The Artist's Way. You can check. So more you clean yourself, more you reduce the noise, reduce the trash, the wasteful thoughts and things like that, you start to manage better your thoughts. It's not that easy, but especially for introverts like us. But when you start to do it, you start to see the results. You have more energy in your life. You feel more peace. For some of us, maybe happiness is your thing, or maybe peace is your thing, or maybe more love. You start to feel all of them because it's not from outside. That's our essence. When we remove the noise, when we unveil, when we take out the layers, we reveal the truth. We reveal who we really are. We are peaceful and powerful souls, full of wisdom, full of love. We are the instruments of the Father, the instruments of the Creator, the Source. We are translators of the universe. That's our truth. Next one, allow the process. We must be patient. It doesn't matter how old you are. If you discover your artistic, creative power since you were a kid, that's perfect. But most of us, we haven't really connected with that. And I'm not talking about becoming a professional artist. You don't need to do that. You can create for yourself. Do it for yourself. Forget about the social media. It's destroying us as introverts, especially if you are INFJ or in human design projector, like me. We must guard and protect our energy. We are not designed to throw and create all the time and feed the social medias, the algorithms. It's crazy. So maybe I will do another video about that. It's very important to protect our energy. And now everybody's stressed. Everybody's trying to create things and build things, and 10% of the businesses succeed or less. 90% fail. They are with debts, with a lot of problems. So let's try to keep it simple. It's a process. Be patient, really. We develop patience through that. And maybe if you have been already doing a lot of art or creating a lot of different kinds of music or dancing, you know that patience pays later, right? When you put more time, you focus on the details, and you create something very beautiful, and you see that, you feel that very nice at the end. That's a beautiful process. Just respect that. Be patient with that. Yeah. Number 4, I really, really suggest you as much as you can, if you have the resources, of course, develop your art to the highest level possible, the highest in this moment. Maybe you can do more later, but in this moment, with what you have, bring that art to the highest level. And it's normal to quit sometimes. I wanted to quit the piano so many times. At the beginning of this channel, actually, when I was creating these videos, I said, no more, I don't want to create more music. And I stopped playing the piano. I was doing a lot of just talking videos and sharing. But then I came back because it's a gift. It's first love. The music is my first love. So I need to come back to that sometimes. And I do my best to keep practicing, to keep learning, to keep creating, to learn production softwares, to understand what is happening in the market. It is not like my first and unique passion, but it's part of my mission, my responsibility to bring that to the next level. And more skillful you are, your body is well trained to do more things, yeah? To do more high energy, high quality energy, more positive things. This is not about doing more in numbers, okay? It's about doing more in energy levels. Then it's more powerful. So do it, yeah? If you stay as a beginner and just play one or two songs, but you feel in your heart that you want to create more things, you need to develop your skills. There is no doubt. And you need to repeat until you get better. Small progress over the time is enough. And number 5, this is more about money and career. I have been struggling with money many times. Sometimes I don't know what to do. I follow one path. I also love cooking. I make a lot of money in one period of my time just by cooking, but then I get super tired. I didn't have the energy to continue. But you know what? My first 2 incomes in my life that came from music, when I was invited in high school to perform in a show with a famous band in my city. I was playing piano. It was an amazing experience. And second, sculpting. In university, when people went to my home and we would have some parties there, they saw that I was doing sculptures and they were really cool. And some of them, they asked me and say, hey, can you do this for me? And I was doing like a messenger and some Looney Tunes things, some cartoons. And I was making money already selling sculptures in the first or second year university already without finding a job. Those were signs from God, from the universe, that was a path of wealth. When I moved to, I worked for office, of course, but then I moved to China. I was working for others. I was working in a Mexican restaurant. I was exploring some other new things, different kinds of business, but then I was always coming back to music. I was very lucky and fortunate. And then sometimes I was doing office job, but at night or weekends I start to play in some gigs, some shows. It was very, very nice. And then I start to see, okay, I can just really go directly to do music or to create something. Because if you are in an office, sometimes we get drained. We don't have the creative freedom and we need to keep creating. So that's very important for us. So have 2 passions, yeah? One, to keep developing your art, and other one to bring you money in. Don't sacrifice everything for art now if you are not ready. It's very competitive now. The world is very competitive. Maybe you can make it later when you can find a way to integrate your art, your passions, and then you find a way to make money. But be aware of that. Has just 2. One, career or passion or hobby that makes you money, makes you earn, and another one to develop your art. I'll give you an example. When I was working in the office, my last office job, I was all the time there in the office, normal time from morning to night. But at night, I started to develop cooking. I was with my mind that I can do some cooking because I love cooking. Maybe I can do as a creative way. And then I started to learn new recipes. I was really into baking and doing a lot of desserts. I remember those times. And that helped me. In one moment, I was so tired of the job and I say, no more. I really want to quit and just go. I never planned. That was one mistake. But I have something already there. I have skills, and I was able to do some private kitchen events, and then people start to recognize that. So it helps a lot. Actually, when I left my job, I never left to do music. That was like kind of the normal path or the main idea. But I went for cooking, and I started to do also some workshops. I started to teach cooking. That was really nice, actually. I love it. And like I mentioned before, it was too tiring for me. And then I start to also do other kinds of workshops, and then when I start to do the self-development thing, and that was an amazing journey, helping a lot of people so far. Yes, so I hope this is useful for you. If you're still here, thank you so much. Please let me know if this is helping you in the comments. That will also help for this platform to share this message with more people. And before we finish, I want to invite you just to do a 2 minutes meditation. Yeah? Stay with me. Just take a deep breath. And just remember that maybe now we are in chaos. Uncertainty, maybe fear about the future. But we have amazing gifts given by the Father, the universe, life. And one of these gifts is our creative power. The power to create beautiful things for us, for ourselves, and then for others. More you clean your mind, your heart, more that beautiful energy will be revealed through you, because we are instruments. At the end, everything is an act of love. All this life, all that is around us, everything around us, the earth, the elements of earth, our body, our belongings, everything was created with love. And when we see life from that point of view, we start to see that life is supporting us, that we are unique and we are part of something bigger. And take a deep breath, smile. And remember, you are beautiful, you are magical, and you are free.